I play games you'll never... I agree with that, DJ. I generally agree that that's what makes watching other players interesting. People like to say, like, why would you watch somebody else play a game? Because there are games that I just don't want to play. Why do you watch movies? Why don't you just make movies, kind of thing? I'd rather see somebody who has put the attention in and the commitment to enjoying a crafted experience that I don't have. And somebody who can be that navigator, be that captain of the ship, and I'll happily be a spectator. That's one of the reasons why I play such different games. Like, if we're all playing the same game, what typically tends to happen is, like, most of us are all playing it and nobody's really watching it. We might tune in here and there for a little bit of, hey, how'd you do that thing? Or, hey, I did this thing, can you? And there's a reason why I like to advocate for things like Game Pass or these subscription services for games, because this gives you an opportunity to keep up with some trends in games without it burning a hole in your pocket or feeling too committed to something you may or may not like. Which is why I think the conversation needs to start going in that direction where, yes, I think a try before you buy in gaming is not bad, but also why I think it's totally fine that we have games in rotation. Play while it's in town, finish it, be done with it, and when it leaves, we're not going to really miss it. And if we do, we can always go back and go ahead and buy it if that's what we want to do. I genuinely think Game Pass repeat, and again, perfect example this month is Guardians of the Galaxy. Raise your hand, and I know nobody could actually see that, raise your hand if you bought Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think there's anybody I know that bought Guardians of the Galaxy. And not because it's a bad game. On the contrary, Guardians of the Galaxy is actually a good game. But it's a rent. Like, it's one you play experience and you never touch it again. Like, oh, we got to be the one to have the next best game. There's also so much value in taking a step back, slowing the fuck down, and you know what? Saving some money along the way. I think the pandemic, keeping people indoors, did lead to people seeking more of a digital connection, but I'm speaking in the scope of the people who still operate in a scene of digital connection, like you and I and the people here amongst Twitch. This is a connected gaming community. Twitch, YouTube, these social platforms that are discussing games on a regular basis, that are talking about their playthroughs, that are talking about the games they love. This is a very online connected experience. So with that truth aside, there are some kind of points of the conversation that I think are obsolete at this point. Things like, oh, I don't agree with things being always online. All right, we're past that conversation. Now we have to start leaning of how do we make things more accessible without diminishing the quality of these experiences. I think some games are good examples of that. And I think Game Pass is a good service justifying the integrity of quality of connection and new experiences, if that makes any sense. Again, Guardians of the Galaxy is a fairly new game, one that most people probably had a passing interest in, but no interest in investing in it permanently. But I guarantee you that the play numbers are going to skyrocket just because that game comes out. And a lot of people are going to be talking about how this game is actually really good and a good example of what a next-gen quality is. DJ, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy it. I absolutely love talking about this stuff. I really do. I'm going to try to use conversations like this more and upload them to YouTube. We're going to try to make this a regular Monday introduction to the stream session. I like talking about this stuff.